Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Sports Talk with JWock. I'm your host, JWock, and the NBA season has officially begun. The regular season is back, and we're going to be talking about that and some more things right after this. Once again, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Sports Talk with JWock. I'm your host, JWock, and the NBA season is officially back, and I'm so happy to have it back. I mean, it was great having the NFL season, and we still have it, but it's just nice to be able to have both. So then we can have the NBA games in the regular season, or in the regular part of the week, the weekdays, and then the weekend, we kind of have college football and the NFL, which is just amazing to me. I'm super excited about that, and I'm happy that the NBA is back. We saw the Boston Celtics have their ring ceremony. They hosted the New York Knicks, being the first game of the NBA season. They dominated that game. They tied the most 3 points per game, 3-point field goals made per game, and I believe it was 29, which is insane. Like, the New York Knicks have been getting flamed for it, but like, how do you stop a team that makes 29 threes in a game? Like, that's really hard. I mean, I guess you play better defense, but like, when a team's making that many, like, they're hot. Like, they are on fire, and it's hard to stop that anyways, especially when they are the reigning NBA champs. I also want to give some credit to the NBA referees. Like, I don't know if it's just me that's noticed this, but it feels like the foul calling has been a lot less. It looks like they're trying to let the players play a little more, which is what I personally appreciate. I like being able to watch the players play aggressive and being able to be rewarded for playing aggressive and not just getting the ticky-tack fouls. There are still, obviously, moments where there's going to be ticky-tack foul calls because, it's the NBA, and I don't know. I think Adam Silver needs to change that, but it's been better, and I hope they can continue to do this throughout the season, because in a lot of past seasons we've seen kind of where it started off like this, and then towards the end of the season or even the middle of the season, it goes back to the way we all have known, where it's just like stupid, dumb little foul calls that shouldn't be called. But yeah, overall, shout out to the refs so far. Hopefully I can come back in a couple weeks and say it's continuing to be like this. But anyways, there are some things that I do want to complain about still, because there's one player in specific that's actually being put into investigation, or actually a team that's being put into investigation because of a certain player. The Philadelphia 76ers are going to be put under investigation due to Joel Embiid's availability. Like, he has not been playing much at all. Okay, let me pull up this thing and make sure. Okay, so the 76ers GM, Daryl Morey, he said that really with Paul George and Joel Embiid, they're probably not going to be playing back-to-back nights. Okay, fair. But then you've got the head coach, which is Nick Nurse. He goes out and says there's no setbacks to Embiid this offseason. And he said it multiple times, they've said. So there's some weird stuff going on with Philadelphia. And this kind of draws me to suspicion. Maybe Joel Embiid just isn't fit. Like, maybe this man's off-season game plans just isn't good. Why don't you start working out a little more, Joel Embiid? Why are you injured all the time? I mean, we saw last year. I think it was last season. I mean, he suited up. He was going to Denver. He was warming up, and then out of nowhere, Joel Embiid was ruled out for the game. It's like, Joel Embiid most of the time has been afraid to play Jokic. Like, I don't know if this is just Joel Embiid or if maybe it's a combination of him and the organization, but something needs to change here, and there needs to be some punishment inflicted here, because the Philadelphia 76ers are they hiding him? Are they making sure that he's good for the playoffs? Because if that's the case, if he's not playing, this team's not going to be as good. They're going to be that lower seed, and they're going to have to play a higher seed, and it's going to end up killing them and shooting them in the foot. Just like how they had to play the New York Knicks last year in the first round. The Knicks overpowered them because they were a better team, because Joel Embiid didn't have that much conditioning. And it was just a team of Tyrese Maxey, which I feel bad for the kid. He's having to, like, carry the load for this team while the two debatably best players on this team are out. Like, I don't know. Like, Paul George's injury makes sense because he hyperextended the knee, but Joel Embiid, I mean, this is just weird. And this just kind of gets me into the topic of we need to talk about just all the NBA players in general and how there has been such a lack of motivation for these players over the past couple of years. And it just feels like the 62-game rule has made it worse for them, which doesn't make sense to me. Like I said earlier, I think 17 games is like, or maybe I didn't say it earlier, but anyways, like I said, like 17 games is a lot of games you could miss. And you can't miss any more. Like, you're already missing almost a fifth of the season. Why do you have to miss more? Unless you have like a serious injury, like you broke something and you were evaluated for a couple of weeks and that takes you out like already like 12 games. But even then, it's like, okay, you didn't play enough games to be eligible for an award. Cool. Which, by the way, I don't know if I mentioned this, which I'm kind of drawing a blank, but it's the 62-game rule. You have to play 62 games to be eligible to get an award or to be up for an award at the end of the season. But yeah, this Joel Embiid thing is really confusing, and it's kind of it's going to start putting some eyes on other teams that might be doing this with other players. Like, I know personally the Chicago Bulls have like basically ruled out the fact that Lonzo Ball will not be playing back-to-back nights. But that's a good excuse. Lonzo Ball was out for, I believe, 2.5 seasons, or if you want to say 2.5 years in general, with a knee injury. He had to basically get his whole meniscus replaced. Like, that makes sense. He has to slowly, gradually get back into the game of basketball. Joel Embiid played last year. Like, why is he sitting out? And the thing that bothers me is I feel like a lot of NBA players are doing this, not just Joel Embiid. There's a lot of players sitting out that are just really just no lack of motive. They have no motivation to play whatsoever. I mean, we're seeing many players doing this. I thought Kawhi Leonard did it a lot last year. He's out for a couple of weeks. Is this a serious injury? He obviously couldn't play in the Olympics, so it probably is. But like, what is going on in the league? It just feels like a lot of players are very money hungry. Sorry, a lot of players are just money hungry instead of wanting to actually go out there and win games. I mean, we saw Jalen Brunson for the New York Knicks. He took a massive pay cut to make sure that his teammates could also get paid to return to the team. That's a good teammate. We see in the NFL, we saw when Tom Brady was playing, he didn't get paid a significant amount of money on the Patriots. Now, when I say that, it's millions of dollars. They're all getting paid a lot of money, but like, regardless to other like quarterbacks' contracts, his was significantly lower because he was a good teammate. He wanted to build his team, and he wanted to have a good team so he could win championships. You know, we saw with the Denver Broncos, Russell Wilson took that massive contract, and it actually, like, it didn't lead to anything good. It ended up leading them to releasing him after 2 years and taking, I believe, an $84 million pay cut. Correct me if I'm wrong. But, like, that's insane. NBA players need to be doing more of this. I get it. You want your money. You deserve your money. Some of them do. Some of them don't. There are some players that get overpaid. But why are so many players so worried about the money instead of winning now? It feels like a lot of players are just focused on, oh, if I play well, I can get the money. No, it should be, if I play well with my team, we could win championships. I would rather personally win a championship than get $200 million. Like, $200 million would be phenomenal. Like, and I would love that right now. But like, why not win a championship with your team and be successful in the NBA? Like, that would be even better in my opinion. But let me know what you guys think. Like, sorry about this rant. Like, this whole Joel Embiid situation just really like triggered something in me that's like made me really frustrated with how the whole league has been, just because it's like, why are we sitting out in these games? Like, what are we doing here? Let's be more motivated and let's play some winning basketball, you know? This Philadelphia 76ers team is really good. They have really good talent on their team. If they're healthy, they could be a championship contending team, but they're never healthy. That's why they probably won't be a championship contending team anytime soon if Joel Embiid decides to keep doing this, and the organization in general. But overall, let me know what you guys think. Personally, that's just frustrating to me. Let me know also how you think the NBA season has started. But yeah, that is going to be the end of this episode. I know it was a little bit of a shorter one, but that's okay. Sometimes we don't want to watch long episodes of me talking and doing rants. But I'll put my my picks from last week for the NFL up right now, and I'll just kind of give you a little rundown of how I did. I did really well. I don't remember my record off the top of my mind, so I won't be able to tell you that. I'll just put it on screen. But yeah, like overall, I had a great week. I'll put up more of those predictions for this upcoming week. I believe it's week 8. And I'll put it up on Instagram. So follow me on Sports Talk with _JWock3. Search that up on Instagram, and you should be able to check that out here soon, especially since there is a Thursday night football game tonight. But yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode. I appreciate all of you. This was, I believe, episode 30, which is insane that we've already made it 30 episodes into this podcast. We're going to keep on going. We're going to keep going strong, and we're getting better and better every single day. So share the podcast, and if you're already here, like, drop down below, hit the subscribe button, like the video, and comment below what you guys think of how the NBA season has started and what you guys think of this 62-game rule and how it's really, how do you think it's going to keep going throughout the history of the NBA? Sorry, kind of drew a blank there. But anyways, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Make sure to follow me on Instagram. Check me out on TikTok at Sports Talk with JWock. Also, I'm on Facebook as well now. It's also sports, or my name right now is just under JWock and Foos, but I will be updating that from time to time. So stay updated. You'll get more updates on Instagram about that kind of stuff. So throughout time, we will be fixing the Facebook situation. But anyways, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you all have an amazing week. God bless.